Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Million Dollar Body Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Palmer. This is the intersection of physical, financial, and familial success. I'm here right now with Kyle Tyler. We are talking today about the reasons that guys can't get abs. So if you're already in the group and you're watching this live, amazing. If you have any questions for us, anything we want us to cover towards the end, drop us a note. If you're checking this out after the fact, make sure you jump into the group. Go to n8trainingsystems.com/group. That's where we stream these podcast episodes live every Wednesday. They're super rad, and there's all sorts of great content. I'll be giving some stuff away. You can grab a copy of my book, whatever you need, right? But make sure you're in the group. n8trainingsystems.com/group will get you there. Today's podcast, though, I'm excited about it. Can I just tell you that right now?
How excited?
I'm like this excited.
Not this excited.
No, like I can't fit that on the screen. So I feel like this.
That's true, because they probably didn't see how excited. Okay,
yeah,
so you're like this.
Yeah, like this.
It's good. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. So there we go again.
So just a little backstory here. So I'm not going to lie. I was putting together this podcast this week about reasons that I see that men can't really get abs going. Okay. And if you've been following me for a long while, you've watched some of these podcasts, listened to these, whatever, you know that I'm about tactics. This is where I like my bread and butter. My book is all tactical. Everything in place is like, hey, do this, turn this like knob, hit this lever, change your body using these exact methods. And I spell it out. Okay. I got a book. It walks you through it. I just put together another book like last week, an ebook called Six Pack Secrets. Okay. So I have so much tactical stuff, so much content out there. So I was coming to this podcast and I was like, man, like fuck this tactics.
Mm-hmm.
I am over it. I'm over it because here's the truth. And so I was doing like, oh, here's the 7 reasons men can't get abs. I put a post on Facebook a couple days ago, but here's the truth is that the reason you can't get abs has very little to do with your carb intake. It just is what it is. There is something going on in your brain that's keeping you from getting there. And I want to talk about that today because let's get real. Like, I feel like Kyle, you see my content, you know, I feel like I've been doing them a disservice.
You mean, dude, you will do them a service because listen, for those of you, I've known Nate for years, okay?
Decades.
Years.
10 years
I'm in the training business as well, and coaching, all that. I can tell you there's not someone I trust more with the tactical side than this mofo right here. Trust me, I call him up when I got clients have issues. I call him up and go, what do you recommend about this? Or what do you do about this? So when he's being real right now, I take heed because this guy, you're not going to find someone who knows more tactically than this guy. But now he's going to try to lay down the other side that maybe people actually probably need to balance it out with, right?
The key word of being there is try. We'll try.
I mean, I think we can, because the tactical side, he's been feeding you guys all. I'm following. He feeds it to you all the time.
That's what we do in this group. We talk about tactics. We talk about ab exercises. We talk about specific meals. We talk about like meal plans. I've got the low back solution, fit fast food. I've got all of these guides and ebooks. I counted it up, Kyle. I have 28 ebooks that I've written.
28.
Yeah. And you can have whatever you want of them. I don't even care because if you don't nail this, then it doesn't matter what you read.
Hold on. So you're telling me you have 28 ebooks written. You have a $1 Million Body book, which by the way is an amazing book. You have this sources, yet we're still having people who aren't getting abs or aren't in shape.
I mean, like the obesity epidemic is like worse than it's ever been.
How?
Right?
But they have all the information.
I got 28 ebooks, and how's it?
They have all this amazing information at their fingertips. How is this possible?
Well, I got something to say about that.
Oh, you got something to say? Do you need the mic?
Number one, the biggest reason that I think men don't get abs, okay, is not about your carb intake. It's not about Orange Theory Fitness. It's not about doing enough cardio. It's because you don't want them. Ooh. Nobody wants to go through the process of getting abs, okay? People are busy. They're raising a family. They got work stuff going on. Plus, when you kill yourself to go get those abs, a lot of times people will end up on the other side and realize I'm the same person as I was. Nothing changed. And therefore, I don't feel good about myself. I know people, and I think you probably do too. People who look great. They got great biceps. They got good physique. They have abs,
they have it all.
And they're
from the outside.
Miserable. Why?
It's because and I think what you're getting at too is like what people relate abs or being in shape or having a lean body or fitness as they want to appear like they have it all, right? They want to appear to others because we judge, right? And we know people are judging us. Even that's farthest from the truth. Most people don't give a shit about you. The reality is we think they do, So we think if I have abs, if I'm in shape, they're going to be like, holy shit, this guy or girl is got their life together, has it all, has all the respect. But is that true?
We equate like the good physique with happiness, and that's not the case. And you ask anyone who's like, you ask physique competitors who get on stage and they flex and they look incredible. They're super lean and chiseled. And you come to them 3 months later and you're like, how you doing? They're like, I'm depressed.
Horrible.
I feel bad. Like,
I mean, you've seen those people.
Totally.
How many people have you seen when they step off stage? And this is eye-opening for me too. When I first saw this years ago.
Because you did this too. You stepped on stage.
I did this and I was miserable. I hated it. Right. And I've seen others, especially too, they go through this grueling process to get abs. I mean, they look magazine perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once they're done, they step off stage. What do you think happens the next day when they kind of go back to normal, drinking water, eating a little more food? They put on 5 to 10 pounds and they still look amazing. But what do you think happens?
Get in their head about it.
Yeah.
90% of them,
they think they're fat,
feel depressed,
yes,
feel like shit.
So you're telling me someone can have abs,
yeah,
but still feel depressed? Whoa, that doesn't make sense.
So I think that like, that's the thing though, is that we think that abs or the biceps or the physique is what we're looking for when it's truly not. Truly what we're looking for is more fulfillment that comes from these day-to-day things, from our businesses, from our families, from our friendships, the things that actually matter and make a big difference in our lives. But we just have a hard time seeing that these things are important and they are impacted by our health, by our physique, by our energy levels, but that the abs, the physique is not the end all be all. It doesn't relate. It does not equal happiness.
And that's why when your point number one is about, they don't want it, right? Because they've falsely tied abs to a better life. But when they realize that better life doesn't happen, then do you think when someone is trying to get abs and their life sucks, they're going to want to keep getting abs?
No,
they don't want that. They want happiness.
Mm-hmm.
They want to feel loved and be loved, and they want respect. And we tend to think in our sexualized culture, abs equals respect. But I can tell you it doesn't, right? I struggled as a male growing up that no woman would ever like me unless I had abs and I was jacked and this and that, right? I thought for sure. Do you know how many women when I would date them or talk to them, they would say, we don't care about that. In fact, we think you look hungry when you're skinny. I literally, I kid you not, real quick, that was my biggest eye opener. This girl that I was back in the day, it was like, we all have our our unreachables, right? We dated briefly, and she's my unreachable, but she told me when I looked at someone on it was like Ryan Reynolds or someone so ripped, and I looked at her and go, God, that guy looks good, huh? That's like the epitome. She looked at me and just said, are you kidding me? That guy looks like he's hungry and needs to eat. I would hate to be with that person. And I just remember being like, well, this whole time I was trying to look like that to get with you, but that's not. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, what an idiot. He looks like he needs to eat, right? It was just like a slap in my face. And I just remember from that day forward, that started the unraveling of, wow, how I perceive the world is not actually reality, right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of us fall into that trap of like self-comparison, comparing ourselves to the magazines. Everything's, like you said, hypersexualized. So like 100%, like people think they want abs, but they don't actually want abs. What they want is what you said, respect. They want self-esteem. They want happiness. They want freedom. And those things can be a byproduct of the journey to get abs, but are not equal to abs. And that is a very important distinction. So she's going to this next point. Number two, the second reason that I feel like a lot of men don't get abs is they only commit when they feel like it. They only commit when they feel like it. Because I think I'm I'm gonna say something right now.
Say it. I'm here for it.
A man is someone who plants his flag in the ground.
Okay.
And says, I'm gonna do this thing, commits to it, and gets after it.
Oh.
I think someone who's soft, who's mentally weak, is like, oh, I'll show up as long as it's convenient, as long as I got the time, as long as there's no emergencies at work, as long as I'm not putting out any fires, as long as I don't have to pick up my kids, as long as I don't have to do X, Y, or Z thing, as long as it's very easy and simple, I'll show up. When the rubber hits the road, when it gets difficult,
that's a good point.
They fall off. They're not committed. They only commit when they feel like it.
Oh, let's say that again.
Here's
they only commit when what?
They only commit when they feel like it.
Dude, say that one more time, because that is so important.
If you only commit when you feel like it, you don't deserve abs and you'll never have them, period. Abs is a lifestyle. It's a process. And more than anything, abs is a status symbol. And I'm saying abs, but I'm talking about a good physique, a healthy body, lean. And that's something you can't fucking buy it. You can't inherit this from your
No.
parents.
No.
You can't get it as a gift.
Oh,
Abs are a status symbol because they showcase diligence, commitment, and daily determination and consistency, not just on the days when you feel good, not just on the days when you sleep well, not just on the days when you don't have a fight with your kids or your wife, or you have to fight about nap time, not just on the days when you don't have business emergencies, but every single day. And that's something you cannot put a price on, because it is so far beyond finances and so far beyond something we can get on Amazon.
I mean, it's mind blowing when you say most men are held back because they only do it when they feel like it. Like, I think we can all relate to that, because God, that's so important. Like, you know, and you deal with a lot of entrepreneurs and people building successful businesses, right? You deal with these, and people maybe watching are in the middle of working their ass off and providing for their family. So I think they can relate to that. And at least I hope if you're watching this, you can, because if you're trying to provide for your family and create a successful business, do you only do that when you feel like it? Because we both run businesses. And I would say out of 365 days of the year, probably 360 days of the year, I don't feel like it. Do you get what I mean?
You feel like waking up.
I'm just being vulnerable here. Yeah. You just
cold
want
calling.
Do you think I want to wake up at 4:45 in the morning?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No, and I think that like a lot of people watching this, there's two different things, right? So like their financial or business success and their physical success, and they show up for their clients, and they show up for their businesses, and they show up for their employees, and they wouldn't think there's no other way, right? It's on the schedule,
Right.
it's getting done. But when it comes time to put it down to like getting in good shape, and not just so you can look good and like be magazine ready or whatever else, but like so your family can have a dad that is going to have longevity, who's going to be able to pick their kids up off the ground, who's going to be able to crawl around and play tag and teach kids how to play catch and all those things. So it's not about you, it's about everyone around you. It's about showing up as best you can. And so we intrinsically get this as guys, as providers, as business owners, we get this when it comes to our business, to our financial success, but we don't put that same thing into play.
Correct.
Like, okay, what would you tell, hypothetically, Kyle, you got a 15-year-old son.
Okay.
He's like, Dad, want a car, nothing fancy. It's like a Honda Civic, something all right. I can bang around town in.
Yeah. Asian cars are best cars. I agree.
Especially if you're 15. I want to get this car. But what would you tell him?
Well, if he was 15 and he wants to get a car, I would first start going, okay, well, how are you going to earn this car? Right.
How are you going to afford it?
Because daddy ain't just going to give you money to buy a car.
That's right.
Right. Because
Papa don't preach.
Papa don't preach.
I'm in trouble deep.
I'm
keeping the baby.
So the point is like, it's what I would tell him. I was like, first off, we're going to come up with a plan for you earning that car. Right.
Great. Sounds really great. Earn the car. But
okay.
Call of Duty is out.
Ooh.
And I got to play it.
Like the new Call of Duty?
The newest one. Yeah.
Okay. You got to play it.
I would love to get the car. I'd love to do the work, but I have to play video games.
Okay. So this child of mine wants a car, understands that, okay, I map out the game plan to get the money. Let's do this. I map it, but he wants to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
All day.
Pretty much.
So he doesn't want to do the plan.
Right.
So he wants to do Call of Duty.
Sometimes he could do, maybe on like a Saturday morning, he'll get
so
it.
Maybe like he'll take a break, go do it, then come back and play games.
Yeah, that'll work, right?
No. I would call and I would love my son. I call him an idiot because I go, you want a car, but you want it given to you. So he just wants a daddy to give him a car, which I ain't gonna fly. Okay, because Papa don't play that way.
It's like you want the results, but you don't have the commitment to put in there. He's like, I want the car, but I don't have the time, energy, or commitment to put into doing the work. You're like, great, sounds fine. No car for you.
Right. And on the flip side, think about this, because you're right, you're onto something. Like if a 15-year-old kid, maybe he hasn't developed those work habits yet. Maybe he hasn't developed that understanding, right?
Go off.
Dude, if so as a parent, and now we're talking about 15-year-old kids, but just in general, if he hasn't been taught the foundation of working for that car, then of course he's going to sit back and play games all day and stay up till 5 a.m. and not go to work, because he hasn't developed the need to build those habits in his life, because it hasn't been real for him. If he wanted that car, we'll go one step further.
I wish you would.
Oh, all right. We'll go one step further. Let's say it's a 30-year-old man with 2 kids, and he has to provide for them. And now he has to get his ass to go to work to provide for them. Is he going to be a little more eager to go to work to provide for his kids and wife and family if he has no job?
Yeah.
More so than the 15-year-old who maybe hasn't understand those habits.
And then but let's take it like one notch further
further.
Okay. So
Inception.
Is the car the greatest good that's coming to your 15-year-old son? Is that the number one thing that he's going to get out of this? No, it's what he learns along the way, right? About hard work, about consistency, about determination. Those are the things that actually play out in your life that you can apply to your business, to your family, to your relationships. Yes, the car is nice, but when he inevitably, is texting and driving and wrecks it, like the car no longer exists, right? But he still maintains that dedication, that work ethic, those pieces that he learned along the way. And that is what getting healthy is all about. And that is what dropping belly fat is all about.
That is beautiful, because you would say as a parent, it would be your job. The car, it's not about just buying your son a car. And yes, I get some people do that, and that's fantastic. And that's maybe your way of loving. But the point is, you would do your kid a much better service by instilling those habits to get to that point.
I think most people listening to this would agree with that.
With that, perfect. Well, then I hope most people then understand where we're going with this, right?
Yep.
It's not about the abs. It's not about the car. It's not about the body. It's about the habits and the person you need to become to achieve where you want.
And it's about the friendships we made along the way.
Yes. You should hear the stories back in the day when we first met. He reminded me today, but anyway.
Number three. I got to try to keep us on track here. It's reliable to talk about all kinds of shit. Number 3, people don't get abs because they don't think it's their fault. And here's why it's not your fault. And here's why it's not your fault that you don't think it's your fault. Is that marketers, fitness is the worst of this. Supplement companies, they're all about telling you, listen, it's not your fault. You didn't try Thermoblast 9000, and that's the only way to get results. So of course you weren't successful on keto. Of course you weren't successful doing paleo. Of course you weren't successful at Orange Theory Fitness because that you didn't have the right supplement blend. You didn't eat our proprietary blend of magnesium and Peruvian plums. And that's why you weren't successful. So like the average person, y'all, gains 8 pounds November through December in the holiday season, okay? And fitness marketers love to tell you, oh man, just not your fault if you're doing that. You just haven't heard of the right hack to get through the holiday season, right. But it is your fault,
right?
Period. No caveat.
Why is it their fault?
Because it's how you show up every single day. It's your energy. It's your enthusiasm. It's your attitude. Those are the things that make or break your success. It's not about knowing that next thing. And like I said, I got tactics for days. I got hundreds of pages of tactics, books, ebooks. This is my 125th podcast, Kyle. I got tactics out the ass. Anything you need to know, I'll either cover it or I can get into it. But I think that this is the crux of the matter, is if you can look yourself in the eye in the mirror and go, listen, it is my fault. I did this to me. And then that's the person who's like, okay, I can see you being successful long-term. The people who I don't ever see being successful long-term are the people who are like, oh, something came up. This was a vacation. It was summertime. There was holidays coming up. And as soon as you can break out of that mentally soft mindset, because that's what it is. It's mentally soft to blame other people and to say and to say, I can't because of X. There's always going to be an X. There's always going to be Aunt Gertrude's 92nd birthday party, and she's going to have cake there. There's always going to be karaoke. There's always going to be a holiday. There's always going to be Cinco de Mayo. There's always going to be kids out of school. There's always going to be people coming over to your house. Always, always, always. There's never going to be a great time to do this shit. So as soon as you can look yourself in the eyes and say, I wasn't successful because I did not choose or create the conditions of my success, you're on the right path. And if you can say that every single day, I am not successful because I didn't choose to be successful, then congratulations, you are way closer to dialing that in, because now you've taken ownership. You put the onus control back on yourself, and you're taking ownership of not only creating the success, but creating the conditions and the environments that are necessary for your success. So you couldn't get to the gym because there was a business meeting? Too fucking bad. You didn't wake up early enough to get to the gym. That's it. And I'm not trying to yell at anybody or come down on anybody, because this is as much for me as it is for anyone else. I need to be waking up earlier. I got things I want to get done, and I keep putting them off because life didn't line up for me. Too bad, Nate Palmer. Suck it up and figure it out. Because anything that happens in this world that I am directly related to, I am responsible for. I was not home on time. My wife had me home at 4 o'clock and I did not get home on time. Oh, there's an accident. Too bad. I was not on time because I didn't check Google. I didn't figure it out.
Oof.
It's on me. That's on me. And as soon as you can put everything that happens to you on you, you're going to be successful.
Dude, dude, you're speaking truth, man. You're spitting truth. And how much more freeing when we actually go away from trying to blame others, blame circumstances, and we accept it and we take ownership of it. Do you know how much more freedom that is?
Oh, it feels great.
We tend to be in a culture sometimes where we preach the opposite. It's not your fault. You're not losing weight because the sun came up at 5:30 in the morning versus 5:25, and it threw everything off, and your hormones are off, and we're eating foods that just throw everything off, and it's not your fault. Guys, there might be circumstances that are going to hold you back, that you might have it harder, right? But you have to internalize that you are in control of every step you take. When I have clients that tell me, yeah, well, my job, is so demanding or this and that, I go, well, you chose to work at that job. So it's okay if maybe getting abs has to be on the back burner because you chose a job that's holding your time, but you have to make the decision, whether that's tomorrow or in a month from now or a year from now, to rectify the very issue that's causing you to be depressed or not to get where you want to be. And if it's a job, what can you do about that? Maybe nothing. Maybe if you're a single mom with 5 kids working a 40-hour job, I would say then maybe your goal shouldn't be abs. Your goal is how to build a sustainable life, doing what you do, because your first and foremost is providing for your family. Now, how do you take care of yourself so that you can keep providing for your family? And you have to own it. You have to own it.
The person I really respect is like, I would much rather have the person come and to have a chat with me and be like, listen, right now, like getting super lean, dropping a bunch of weight, that's not a priority for me. One of my favorite clients I ever worked with, he's like, man, I got to lose like 30, 40 pounds. It's not a priority for me right now. All I need is my energy. I just need to get my energy dialed in. That's the only thing that's important to me. So he said, he took charge. He said, here's what I need. I know I need this. It's on the back burner for right now. And that's a choice I'm making. So he made the choice and he's like, here's my focus. And you know what? He got great results. He lost a bunch of weight because he focused on what he could control rather than being like, oh, I really want this and I want this and I want $1 million and I want a pony, and didn't chase them fully down. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he could commit to, and he went hard on it.
Did he get that pony?
He got the pony. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Number 4, reason people don't get abs is because they're looking for the easy way out. I created the $1 Million Body method. It's all about creating efficiency with your time and making nutrition and training work with a busy schedule while spinning a bunch of plates in your business. I wanted it to be as easily as humanly possible, but easy doesn't mean that it's something that you can just like put off, do in 5 minutes. It still takes effort. It still takes work. So if you think you can just hack your way thin, you'll never get there. So I think about a lot of times like crypto or investing, right? Like we all heard about the guy who, bought a bunch of crypto and now he's a billionaire and he drives a Maserati and he's very handsome. And everybody wants to be him. And so like, I think we start thinking like, oh, well, like, why isn't that me? Like I need to snatch up some Dogecoin right now. Right? Dogecoin. Yeah. Am I saying it right? Is it Doge? So
Doggy coin.
So we're looking for these like instantaneous home runs, right? Correct. But if you ask anyone who's into investing, if you read stuff by Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, they're all about getting those singles and doubles consistently over and over and over again. Tony Robbins says he owns 150 companies and he doesn't run all of them. He's not trying to look for like the next big thing that's always going to explode. He's getting these small singles, doubles, things that are giving him a little bit of a return on investment and are bringing it in that return on investment over time. He doesn't need it to be an explosive home run, right? If you talk about anyone who's been investing for a while, no one's been like, oh, I invested for a year and I'm good now. I'm set. That's it, right?
It's very, very rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare.
But we hear the stories of that one person who lost 60 pounds in 2 months.
Correct.
Or who made $1 million in 3 months.
100%.
And we want it.
That's so true because like Yeah, you're right. The person that lost 60 pounds in 3 months, right? Or the person that went from, 250 pounds to 150 pounds, jacked, ripped, and all this in 6 months. We hear those stories and we automatically equate that as the truth and the standard of what we have to achieve. Just like we hear stories about maybe someone got in at Bitcoin was super early and bought it and now is a billionaire. And we're going, well, I want that. So let me go buy Bitcoin. And then it crashes. And then we go, what the hell? Like, weight loss and investment and everything, it's all the same. That if we have this approach of just like the standard is like those high lofty results, which like Nate is saying, marketers love to use that as the standard so that you go, ha, that's what I'm going to happen. And maybe that is what happened. But the reality is a lot of investment, from what you're saying, investors, majority of them are grinding away, investing yearly, consistently building up and studying and doing the right thing, and probably listening to maybe another investor smarter than them. They're being smart with their money, and not just from investing, but they're not overspending, so they have more money to invest. So it's not just investing. Someone goes, well, I want to invest and make money. Okay, are you saving money? Well, it's really hard for me to save money. Well, how are you going to invest? Well, I don't know. What can I buy for $1 that I can turn into $1 million? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I think we take that same approach with our body, no?
Totally. Because we see something that was possible and we think, I want that. I want the easy button. I want to take a pill, but in reality, what men need to understand is that it's not even about, like we talked about earlier, it's not about getting on stage. It's not about having the abs. It's about what you get from being the type of person who works towards that. It's what you get along the way that is important here. It's not about the result, because that's why some people win the lottery and are dead broke 3 years later.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like how many people get like,
it's a fantastic point.
How many, okay, so I know people who've done the HCG diet, right? Before that was like, now that's a banned substance.
That was really the first thought I had in mind when you said, I was like, oh, HCG diets.
Yeah, they were doing 500 calories a day and injecting HCG, which is a woman's pregnancy hormone, which is not legal anymore. So just take that for what you will. So, and guess what? People were losing weight. Want to know why? Because they're starving them.
They're eating 500 calories.
Yeah. And so what happens? They lose all this weight. 3 months later, they're down 60 pounds. Oh my gosh. Everyone at work will check up on them 3 months after that. They're back up.
Yep.
They're always back
Majority
up.
Of them, absolutely.
Biggest loser people, they're putting on thermogenics. They're putting on all sorts of stimulants. They are running them on a treadmill. They're beating them down, feeding them these rabbit food. But you know what? Every day for the rest of their life, they have to work out for an hour and eat 1,200 calories if they ever want to maintain that weight, because they did it so extreme. They didn't try to get the fastest results possible for fucking TV, obviously. And now they're paying the price of it. Okay. So if you think something's easy or cheaper or free or whatever, there's chances are it's going to cost you more, take you longer, or be more expensive down the road because you didn't do it the right way. So I say weight loss results don't matter. It's, can you sustain them?
That's a great point.
Number 5, trying to keep us on track right now.
Let's go.
Number 5, the last one that I wanted to just drop is that people don't get abs because they're chasing them for the wrong reasons. I heard a quote that I didn't get when I first heard it, and now I like it more and more every time I think about it. It's, wherever you go, there you are. So people think that like by showing up and having, like, going from dead broke to having $1 million, it's gonna make them happy. But they show up and they have $1 million, but they're still the same person. They go from being 40 pounds overweight to being 10% body fat, but they're still the same person. So when you don't do the actual work, if you take shortcuts, if you look for hacks, and you don't learn the lessons that create the long-term results, like we were talking about last time, and all you want is the sweet biceps and sweet abs, I got a tip for you. Hot tip. All you want is abs and biceps, take steroids.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah. You want to be super skinny? You want to get really lean? Try meth. What about that?
Ooh. That's like a guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. You can drop so much weight in just your teeth.
I mean, your other parts of your life, whatever, but hey, you'll have abs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's an extreme example. You don't have to do meth. What about cigarettes? Cigarettes are a great way to drop weight. Yeah. But I think a lot of us are going to be like, whoa, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not taking steroids. I'm not doing meth. I'm not smoking cigs. But if you follow that easiest, fastest hack to its logical conclusion, it always ends in meth. It always ends in meth.
Always.
And
I think everything ends with meth at the end of the day, right? Just kidding. We don't do meth. Yeah, just kidding. We don't do meth. We don't condone meth. We don't do meth.
So intrinsically, for most of us, we know there's more to it than being skinny. Otherwise, we would all just be chain smoking and, and eating bits of like toilet paper in order to like satiate ourselves. Do you know there's a diet that they used to prescribe in the 50s called the cotton ball diet? You just eat cotton balls and to fill you up. You could dip them in orange juice if you were really hungry. Facts. Look it up.
Jeez.
Yeah. So there's a reason we're not smoking cigarettes and doing the cotton ball diet anymore. And it's because we know in our heads and our hearts that there's more to it than being skinny. We want to be healthy too, right? You can't feel good if you're smoking cigarettes and not eating food. You're never going to be a great dad that way. You're never going to feel good picking your kids up. You're never going to go take them on a bike ride or go play baseball or something.
It's like a horrible life.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one way of putting it.
That sounds like a horrible life.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, unfortunately, there are probably people listening right now going, whoa, I can do cotton balls dipped in orange juice and lose weight. I might do that. Unfortunately, there might be people who are willing to sacrifice their well-being because they think, again, if I lose weight, get abs, like we said earlier, I will be happy. But those are the people that I think Nate's really trying to hit home with, is that it's a false reality, right?
Yeah. If someone's listening to this right now and they're like, oh, cotton ball diet, then you should just ditch this podcast completely.
Yeah.
Just turn it off.
That's what we're getting at. Like, we use extreme examples, but that can go to so many different ways that the cotton ball diet's going to leave you probably still just as depressed and unhappy in life, and probably worse.
Probably worse.
Probably get unhealthy at that time, but
you think
hey,
so?
At least you might be skinny, right?
Because it's not about being skinny.
Right.
It's not about having abs. It's about being the leader of your tribe and of your trade. It's about being the best dad possible, raising up formidable children that see you as an example, as the paragon of the family. It's about creating a lifestyle that you love and you don't need a vacation from. It's about creating the habits that allow you to be the man you want to be and need to be. It's about showing up big time for your families and friends. It's about having energy to do the things that you want to do, to be able to say yes when people are like, hey, do you want to go run these stairs? You want to play pickup basketball? You want to go play tennis with us? You want to do this fun activity? You want to pick up surfing? You want to try rock climbing? Yes. You want to say yes to those things. And that's what it's about. It's not about being skinny. It's not about having abs, but the pursuit of those things is so much more important than necessarily the outcome. So if I had a pill right now that said like, hey, all you got to do is take this pill and it'll give you the body of your dreams, I wouldn't give it to you. I wouldn't, because I know that long-term, that is not in your best interest. I feel like such a dad saying that.
That's a very dad thing to say.
Yeah. Well,
it's like the car. You're not going to give them the car, right?
Oh, my kids are not getting cars. Well, they probably won't even have cars.
No, they'll drive the Honda Fit.
I wonder if our kids will even learn to drive, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We got to stay on point, because
we go down that
rabbit hole big time.
Guys, so that's it, right? I can talk tactics all day long. I can talk to you about how insulin interacts with your blood sugar, how you can utilize carbohydrates to facilitate deeper sleep by interacting with and like turning on your parasympathetic nervous system dominance. I can tell you about how to use different inputs to get great energy throughout the day, how to get you turn your breakfast into a fat burning machine, how to do exercise like workouts in 10 minutes, 30 minutes, to how to build your biceps, build your chest up. But at the end of the day, none of that shit matters until you get your mind right.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. This is the strongest muscle or the weakest muscle. It's going to leave you soft as baby shit if you can't handle this. And if you can't get this right, no amount of success in the gym will ever make you happy and will ever be long-term.
100%. And if, like he's saying, if this isn't right, then all the tactics in the world won't be implemented, because the tactics are all about implementation of a life that you're trying to live, right? And we might have short-term goals that have short-term, more drastic measures. Maybe you're saying to get things on a kickstart. But again, if most of these people are understanding how to run a correct business the right way, you need more, a homeless man needs more than a temp job, a 30-day job to eventually save money and buy a home.
Correct.
Like he probably needs to get to that point where he's consistently showing up to work and not thinking, well, how do I go from being homeless to making $1 million? You don't. How about you go from being homeless to actually having a job, to actually then making money to support yourself, to then saving up, it's steps, but no one wants to hear that, but it is the way. There's tactics. We give a homeless man tactics, but
but
if that's not until that mental component, then what good is the tactics? Really?
Good point.
And you're a tactical man. He's brilliant. So I'm not trying to downgrade by any means. You know your stuff. So when you get in that mindset, this guy is going to get you where you need to be because the guy is a tactical machine.
But until you're ready, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I can give you the greatest stuff in the world. I give you the best diet ever, and it's not going to matter at all until you have the mindset correct.
God.
Kyle, dude, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
If you guys have any other questions about this, you need any help with anything, if you just want to reach out and just be like, hey, that podcast is bullshit and I hate you, shoot me an email. Nate@NateTrainingSystems.com will get you there. I'd be happy to hear what you're thinking, or if you have any other questions, I'd love to answer them. Other than that, guys, hope you have an amazing day. Hope this was powerful and impactful for you. And once again, hey, we live in a soft society. We live in a place where it is not in our DNA anymore to be hunters, to be out there getting after it. So be hard, be mentally tough, overcome those obstacles and challenges. Look at those as opportunities in a world that's soft as baby shit, guys, because this is the world we live in right now. And it is people want you to be average. They want you to fold over. They want you to because being excellent, being above average, that showcases to other people that they are not where they want to be. And there's more possible. So no one wants you to be above average. So I'm calling you right now to be above average, to stop being soft mentally, to push yourself, to choose the hard, and make sure that every single day you're living up to that potential and doing the work. I'll see you soon.